It was November 27th, 1996 in Utah. The home team was playing in front of a record crowd, and they were heading into the locker room at halftime down a whopping 34 points. After taking a beating so bad in the first half, they were now facing a deficit so big that any hope of victory, of winning the game, seemed impossible. Some halftime strategy changes and a hard-line pep talk had the home team coming back out with a strong sense of purpose and determined focus. And by the end of the game, the Utah Jazz beat the Denver Nuggets in the greatest comeback of NBA history all time. Now, I don't even play basketball, but I do study strategy in all aspects of life. And basketball is a perfect analogy to help us better understand and get the winning perspective we need to our investing, and in more ways than you might think. In this video, I'm going to explain this simple analogy that will make it easier for you to succeed in your investing. So stay tuned. All right, welcome back. So hopefully you enjoyed that intro. It was kind of exciting, and I don't even play basketball, but I thought it was pretty exciting too. But like I said, I do study strategy in all different aspects, and I love to find analogies. I love to find something else that's similar and learn what we can learn from that, and then how can we apply to something else that we know, because a lot of times it gives us the perspective that we need to see things that we might be missing. And basketball is obviously a national pastime. It's a huge sport, one of the biggest sports in the world, and so it's a great analogy to use. And really, our investing is like a game, all right? And when I say that, what I mean is that not that we're doing it for fun, it's serious, but I guess a professional basketball game is also serious too. But we should be approaching it like a game. And so the first couple of things about like a game is that we need to know what the rules are. All right, you can't expect to go out there and win any game, and I don't care if it's a board game like Monopoly or a professional basketball game. You can't expect to win a game unless you know the rules. All right. You also have to practice a lot. The first time that you play something, you're not going to be very good. The more and more you play, the more you practice, the better that you get. Professional sports teams, they're all professional athletes. They played for most of their life, but even still, they play together. They have to learn how to play together as a group, and they practice every day or almost every day together. So even though they're professionals, even though they've done it their whole lives, they're still constantly practicing. And then you got to play, right? So you can't just practice a game. You can't just learn how to play a game. You can't just practice how to play a game. You actually have to play the game. And so investing is the same. And I know a lot of people get caught up in this analysis paralysis where you're constantly researching and you're watching videos like this video, and you're on social media and you're reading blogs and you're all these things, maybe reading books, maybe even going to seminars or conferences or whatever, and you're learning all about investing but you're not playing, all right? So you gotta play it, all right? So that's the first thing. It's like a game. Now, it's also a very long game, all right? Now, some people, unfortunately, most people I talk to, they look at investing as like a sprint, like it's like a one-time thing. Like, I'm just gonna invest into cryptos and I'm gonna wait till it gets back to an all-time high and I'm done. And it's like, no, it's not a sprint. It's not like I'm going to Vegas for 2 hours and have or 1 weekend and have as much money, I can make as much money as I can. It's a marathon, right? It's a long game. And so just like that story I opened up with about the basketball team, even though you may have taken a beating, even though you may be down, even though you may be halfway through your life, the game is not over. It's a long game. If you think about it, you have, just like a basketball game, you have 4 quarters, and in life you kind of have 4 quarters, right? 25, 25, 25, 25. So 50 years old is kind of that halftime in life. And so you could be at that halftime. You could be going into the 3rd quarter of your life and down and discouraged, but the game is not over. You have 4 quarters to play this game. You have plenty of time to come back, and you need to go back to the locker room, and you need to reassess. You need to realign your strategy. All right, realign your strategy. Give yourself that pep talk if you need to. Figure out some motivation that you need. Improve and adjust your game and come back. It's a long game. At the end, I'll show you how we can improve our strategy, but let's just go ahead and stick with it for now. All right, then this is a super important part right here. All right, so everyone thinks that winning investing is like scoring a goal, which it is, right? So in order to win a game, we have to score goals, right? That's how it works. We have to score goals. Whoever has the most points at the end wins. And so the whole game is really centered around scoring points and planning our offense and offensive drills and offensive strategies. And it's all about scoring points, just like investing is all about making money. Right? So which position is going to make me the most money? Am I better? Will gold make me more money than cryptos? Is real estate better or whatever, right? So it's all about making money. It's kind of like scoring goals. But here's where the analogy continues on. In order to win at sports, in order to win at basketball, the goal is to score a bunch of points, but it's also not to be scored upon. All right, think about that. So we need to score points, but we also need to not be scored upon. And so we need to be able to play defense, all right? We have to limit the amount of damage that we're gonna take. We need a strong defense. So even though the game is focused on offensive, even though the game is focused on making as much money as we can, we need to limit our damage, because we know what's going to happen, right? We know that we will get scored upon. We don't want to get scored upon, but we know it's going to happen, and so we need to limit that as best as we can. And so with a basketball game, like other sports, but a basketball game is good because a basketball game plays offense and defense at the same time. And what I mean by that is like all the players are on the field at the same time. Like football, offense goes off and defense comes on. Baseball, same thing, right? Offense goes on, offense and defense. But basketball, the offense and defense are on the court at the same time, all the players. And the reason why I like that analogy to investing is because investing is the same way. We need to be investing for offense. We need to be investing for growth. We need to be investing for making money, but we also need to be investing defensively. We need to be prepared for if the market shifts or changes. We need to be prepared to limit our damages, all right? So like in a basketball game, the offense and defense is at the same time, all the players on the court, and as the offense goes forward to go score goals, they'll leave some defensive people back because they don't know what's going to happen. Maybe someone strips the ball and passes it back, and they need to make sure that there's defensive people back there just in case that happens, right? Even in football, you see that, right? So even though they're on the offensive, let's say that the quarterback throws an interception, they'll still have people back, hopefully, to try and protect that. So even though they're pressing forward on offense, even though they're trying to make money, they're still being defensive. And that is one of the biggest mistakes that I see investors make, is they're so focused on making, that they're not focused on the defensive side. And it's okay to be more offensive. You could be 70, 80% offensive, but you also need to focus on defensive, just like the basketball, right? Basketball, football, they're focused 70, 80% on offensive, but they have a little bit of defensive. Now, if you like this video, give me some thumbs up on this video, and you love the analogy, leave me some comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. All right, so with investing or with a game, right, football, baseball, whatever, or basketball, we never know what's going to happen. All right, so you watch the guys on the commentators on TV, ESPN or whatever, and they say, "Oh, this team is going to just, they're going to beat this team so bad, they're going to crush them. They have them covered or whatever it is, right?" But you never know. That's why you line it up, you play the game, and you see what happens, because you never really know. And so you need to come in with a good game plan, and you need to do your strategy. Okay, who am I playing? What are their strengths, weaknesses? What's my strategy to beat them? I need to be ready for that, ready to maximize my strategy, but I have to be flexible in my game plan, because if something changes, I need to be quick. I need to be able to adjust my game plan, make the moves, changes that I need to make, quick to adjust on that. Kind of like the opening story, we talked about how they was the best comeback, the biggest comeback in history. And at the halftime, they were down 34 points, ended up being 36 points they were down. But they made some strategies and were able to come back from a 34-point deficit. And so, they had a good strategy when they entered the game, but at halftime, they had to readjust. And so we may have to adjust, right? We make the best decisions that we can with the information that we have at that time. But when things change, we have to adjust quickly. We have to be able to move, and it's the only way. A lot of times I hear from people in the comments, keep dropping me comments, where they're trying to pick which ones. I think this one's better than this one, or I think this one's better than this one. And it doesn't have to be a game of you picking the best one, right? I think that gold's better. I think that Bitcoin's better. Well, I invest into both. Now, I invest into them for different reasons, and I invest into them for different amounts. And one of them could prove to be a bad investment, and as soon as I see proof of that happening, then I'll quickly adjust, all right? But right now, they look like they're both good. I'm gonna adjust into them. I'm gonna invest into both of them. But as soon as new information comes about, I'll be quick to adjust. Now, the other thing is that we want to play to win, right? What's the point of playing a game if you're not going to play to win? Now, I get it. You can go out there and just like kick the soccer ball around or throw the baseball with your son or whatever, or shoot some hoops with your buddy. That's fine. But if you're going to play a game, you're going to play to win, right? And just like with investing, we're not just investing for fun. We're investing to make money. And so we need a good game plan, all right? And just like this basketball analogy, we need a game plan for offense, but we also need a game plan for defense. And that's where people are really, really missing the ball. So think about that in your investing life. How am I going to make the most money? How am I going to maximize the money, but also how am I going to defend myself against losses? Now, I have a guide, I have a report. If you haven't downloaded it yet, I kind of explain the 4 areas that you could look to invest to maximize both your offense and your defense. It's free. If you haven't downloaded, just check out the link in the description down below. Again, it's just a free resource I give to you. I highly recommend that you read that. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, so leave me a comment. And that's it. If you like this video, you know what to do. Give me some thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give me some thumbs down. It's the first time I've done this like basketball analogy, so let me know what you think. Do you like the basketball analogy? Just say yes basketball or say no basketball. Either way, if you like these kinds of things, I can try and do some more of them. And that's it. To your success. I'm out.